Hi Aquarius, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aquarius, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for our key to the week this week, my fellow Aquarians, you have the World card, right? And in a lot of ways, the words that I heard as soon as I put this card on the board were, you're feeling the strains of the world this week, right? Whether this is in your personal community, like your family, your friendship ties, whether this is in your local community with the disruptions that are taking place, whether this is on the wider world stage. The thing that people really get a lot confused about Aquarian energy, and I think I'm qualified to speak about this because I'm 36 years old and I'm an Aquarius sun. My sun is unaspected, which as many of you know is, well, I say many of you know, it's unaspected, so it's quite strong Aquarian energy. Now, okay, I'm not an Aquarius ascendant, but I am an Aquarius sun. And I think that qualifies me to speak on the Aquarian experience because I'm living it. And I have to say, all right, yes, you know, the moon in Cancer in my chart definitely, you know, feeds into this. But I can say from an Aquarian point of view, because I actually resonate quite strongly with my sun. So I'm always surprised when astrologers read for me and they kind of just gloss over it. And I'm like, okay. You know, maybe that's just me. But I'm always very intrigued by this idea that that we're detached, completely detached from emotions. I think that's a load of bollocks, actually. And what I can say is that Aquarius is the water bearer, which means we carry the emotions, water, of the world on our backs. Right, and so there's a need to be detached from that emotion so that we can deliver fairly to all people that water, right? And that's one of the ways that I understand that archetype. Maybe that's inaccurate to other people or to astrologers that know more than me. No offense, but my experience is my experience. You're never going to change my mind on that in true Aquarian fashion. That being said, this week, I do get this feeling that we're going to be feeling the strain of world events, whether those are personal at the microcosmic level or, you know, on the macrocosm as well, right? There's just this sense that I have. It's not just about mastery and attainment and achievement this week. There's more to it. And I get this feeling that we're going to feel the strain in our relationship somewhere, and not just like on a personal boyfriend, girlfriend kind of level. It's more than that. We're going to be feeling like whatever's going on these levels. So that being said, on the other side as well, the World card could literally speak to the communities that you are a part of and the challenges that may arise there. It's important for you to remain Aquarian about this, which is not detached, it's fair. You know, fair-minded about the whole thing. I think that's going to be, you know, try to remain that. Now, that new moon that's happening in the sign of Libra on the 6th of the month will be offering a trine energy. So even though this is a whole bunch of, quite frankly, shit that's going on with that new moon, it's going to be very intense. It is offering a trine energy to your sun, moon or ascendant that is Aquarius energy, which means as yes, everyone else is going to be running around like headless chickens, but I don't feel like it hits us in the same way. I actually feel that that detached nature that we're known for is going to offer a little bit of a reprieve, and actually the energy that comes through that Libran energy is actually going to offer us an ability to transmute this energy, or actually put it to work either much sooner than everybody else or in a more powerful way than everybody else, especially because we've got the Saturn Uranus square that is going, you know, through this whole year, has been running through this whole year and is still in activation as we speak. So, you know, Saturn's in Aquarius, which is the sign that it rules, and it's strong there, right? So it's already in its own dignity. And interestingly enough, even though it's a square opposition, a square energy in terms of its transit, Uranus energy is also Aquarius energy. So, you know, if you're feeling super amped up, if you feel like you've got 1,000,001 ideas, if you feel like there's just so much going on and, you know, I want to do all of it all at the same time, slow your roll, because that's you getting caught up into whatever's going on out there, right? Take time to do this at a pace and to do it as a process rather than an event. All right, if you are a continued subby, you know I love you for it. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't seen it yet, please don't forget to check out your numerology video for the month ahead. If you don't know your life path number, there will be a link to a video somewhere that will show you how to calculate your life path number. I put a lot of time and effort into those, and the reason I do is because I want to give you a different, more broad perspective, you know, the tarot, a little bit of the astrology and the numerology, to give you more, you know, more forewarned is more forearmed. For our actions and options this week, we have the 10 of Wands. This is an interesting card because it could be this week that there is the release of a burden of some sort on a community level. If you've been caring for someone, if you've been carrying something that feels kind of unfair, if you've been dealing with something that feels kind of like it's unfair, there could be some release or some relief this week. It could also be as well, and I've got to say this, I have to warn you, my fellow Aquarians, this week I have seen, and I'm not proud to say, but I have myself watched Aquarians destroy people with words. And I mean, like, you know, reduce people to tears. And I often say to people, because I know how I've been in my younger years, sometimes knowing what you could say is enough is more than actually saying it, right? Sometimes it's better to just bite your tongue, breathe, count to 10, walk away. This week, you've got that 10 of Wands, and I often say to people with this card, sometimes it's about saying something that somebody's not necessarily ready to hear. And so I will ask you to err on the side of caution of whatever messages or information or knowledge that you bring into the world, all right, or whatever it is, because this week, if you go in for someone, you could really do a lot of damage this week. So please be very conscious about the way that you speak or the things that you say to people, because we don't know what, you know, especially if people are mean to you, it's usually because there's something going on with them, right? But if you retaliate in that, you know, I laugh because it's kind of like a bit of a nervous laugh, just because I know myself. And already throughout this Mercury retrograde, there have been so many moments where my thumbs have started furiously typing, and then I'm like, no, you know what? Just don't respond to this. There's no need. Just err on the side of caution, because you could really go over, like, you know, someone could say something to you that you're like, oh, okay, that stung. My turn. And then you just go in and you know, just try to control it. For your communications and conversations, Lord help us, we have the Magician, right? And oh, universe, I love you. And tarot, I love you too. Okay, the universe, the Magician card is Mercury ruled, right? And in a lot of ways, this speaks to communication. It speaks to us rising up the ranks. You add to this then the World card. This week, you have a very clear set of choices, Aquarius. You can choose to take the high road and really elevate yourself to something else, or you can take the this makes me feel good in the moment path and probably end up doing a lot of damage control at a later date. Those are your options. And yes, it is that black and white. We are in Libra season. For your those of you that are employed, this week it looks like you're going toe to toe with the boss. And if that is the case, try to do it in a way that is where your logic is undeniable. Spock, right? You got to be like Spock this week. And that's not to say unemotional. I've given that whole spiel about, you know, we are emotional, but we know how to detach from it when things need to be done a certain way. This week, you're going to have to find a way to do that. You know, you don't want to destroy your boss in front of everyone. But at the same time, you don't want to be downtrodden by them when you know that they're wrong and there's a better way to do something. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this could, I mean, in a lot of ways, maybe something happens this week that really elevates you. Maybe something that you put out absolutely explodes and it's something that you really didn't expect to do so well. Maybe you are connecting with somebody that's a very powerful person this week that is a part of your community, that might be a peer of some sort who absolutely puts you on and you're like, whoa, okay, what's going on here? This feels like that. For those of you that are retired or no longer working, this is about you figuring out what your mastery is, what your skill level is, and what you can do with it now, right? What it is that you've learned and how you can put that into practice. The other thing is as well, remember this is the Magician card. So the reason I say you have these two paths is the Magician can be the trickster energy. It can be that Mercury retrograde energy. And because we've got this here, it's going to be up to you to really use your words to the best effect, to find a way to channel that energy and do something positive and beneficial, you know, with it, rather than, you know what, this makes me feel good, so I'm going to destroy your argument, I'm going to make you look small, and I'm going to walk away smiling. You'll only feel like that for a minute, and then once it's done, do you know what I mean? Like, you may end up having to really undo it in some way. For your love and relations, you have the Two of Pentacles. Lots of choices to make this week, my Aquarians, when it comes to love, partnerships, relationships. This is really nice though. For those of you that are single, this could be somebody that you consider a peer. Maybe it's somebody that is in a powerful position. Whoever this is, it looks like somebody is smitten with you. And it's kind of like they've chosen you, like they're really into you. And you're like, okay, hi. If you're me anyway, oh my gosh, I'm so awkward around people that I know, people that I like, or, you know, if there's any sort of chemistry, I'm kind of like that person that fiddles with their fingers and drives their toe into the floor, and I have no smoothness, I have to say. Like, you know, I've got some game, but yeah, for the most part, if I really like someone or whatever, I get really flustered, and it's just ridiculous. I'm a bit of a nerd that way. Anyway, this isn't just about me. For those of you that are relationship partner, if you're in a relationship, this suggests that you and your partner could be doing some really deep talking this week. And this could be about the future. It could be about where you visualize things going. This could be a week where you get some really heavy burdens or worries or fears off your chest. And it actually serves to really cement the relationship, because it's like, by sharing this stuff with your partner, they might then say to you something along the lines of, wow, okay, you've been a bit weird recently and I did wonder what was going on. Now I know this, you know, I know it's not me, like, you know, this is what we can do to fix it. For your money and materials, you have the Knight of Wands, right? So lots of, you know, powerful energy here. This, with the Magician card, this is about you discovering how to make money from what you love to do. I think in a lot of ways this can be a great week for money. It could also be a week where you are making more money than you realized you would, or than you planned to. But I feel like it's you making money from things that you genuinely love to do. So, you know, for those of you that want businesses or side hustles or anything like this, could be you really figuring out how to make that a reality. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I love this card for that. Gives you a lot of passion, a lot of energy, a lot of like internal power, and it makes that power palpable, which, you know, is going to make you quite attractive this week in some way, shape or form. When it comes to your home and environment, just because it's underneath the Magician card and the World card, I would be not careful, but be wary about who you invite into the home this week. All right. I don't know why, but that's the feeling that I get from it. So just be, you know, be very selective about who gets over the threshold of the front door. Your new moon message is the gate 35 and experience. One of the things that I love about this card is it basically says to you, second-hand knowledge or information is not going to cut it. That new moon is going to see you saying to yourself, this is what I want to go after. This is the experience that I want to have. And hearing somebody else's version of it, or, you know, like when someone says to you, oh, you know, I did that, I didn't enjoy it very much. It's like, oh, okay, well, you know, that's you. I might really enjoy it. I might love it. I might hate it. I might, you know, not even finish the experience, whatever it is. But you need that first-hand experience. And that's what this new moon is really trying to get across to you this week. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.